Oh, good sir. I'm gonna tell you about the different personality types of my team that I'm building, and based upon all of the characters that you either gave to us or we chose, I'm going to determine a job for them based upon what strengths they have and where they would fit best on my team. The first person I want to talk about is Jared Leto. He's an actor and a musician. Those are two positives. The third positive that I have for him is that he is also an entrepreneur, meaning that when he's an actor, he can get into any roles. And a part of my team is I need actors to perform in my play. Um, he is a musician. Meaning that if the composer that I choose needs help with writing music, he can obviously help with that. Entrepreneur, he has been known to delve his hands into several business ventures. Most the most famous business that he started getting into was Uber, and he really helped to get them really popular. The negatives with him is that he is an extreme sports type of person, and a lot of times when you get into extreme sports, a lot of injuries can occur, and that we need to be able to trust people to be able to perform on the best to the best of their ability, and we can't have them being injured. The second negative that I have for him is he's got a lot of extreme ways that he likes to promote um, different ventures. I won't go into any details on what he did to promote his new film Suicide Squad. Just know that they were quite, how should I say this? Disgusting, but he he knows of certain ways to promote films that nobody else would think of. Um, the extreme. He also leads kind of an extreme lifestyle, meaning that he likes to go rock climbing and do other adventurous type of things. That can be quite dangerous, and we'll need him to not perform those activities while he is with this team. This His personality type that I have for him is INTJ. He's very intuitive, and he's a big, really introvert type of person, uh, meaning that he likes to do things on his own when it comes to creating characters um, and trying to do his job. The second person I'd like to talk about is Ryan Seacrest. Now, he's a definite also entrepreneur, but on a different scale, meaning that he likes to be the entrepreneur behind the scenes when it comes to working with camera crews and lighting crews. He's seen a lot of things um, that go on behind the scenes. Um, Another thing I didn't talk about with Jared was the job that I have for him is I want him to be uh, the main actor for my film. Um, Going back to Ryan, Ryan also likes as a positive. He likes to get down to the truth. He has a podcast and a radio show that he hosts, and every time that he has um, people in his studio that he wants to interview, he tries to get his best down to the truth. And the job that I have lined up for him is kind of perfect for that. Um, the third positive that I have is he's been a wedding planner. He knows how to set up certain things and help to make things go off scheduled as planned. Three negatives that I have for him is he can get very emotional, meaning that when he was the host for American Idol and still is, and I'm thinking he still is, one of the judges that was on American Idol was Simon Cowell, and he and Simon got into it every time, or a lot of times when Simon would disrespect some of the candidates that were on the show. Um, we really he needs to learn to control his emotions at all times when he's on a set. The second negative that I have for him is he can go overboard, meaning that he can, whenever he's trying to get down to the truth and he's trying to get something out of someone, he can frickin' pry just a little too much, and he'll need to pull back from that. The third negative that I had for him is that he can be quite snappy with people, meaning that he has been known to sort of kind of go off on people whenever he feels it's best to do that. And working with a team and a crew, you really can't bring that onto a set. The job that I actually have for him, since listing all of his positives and knowing that he has a lot of experience behind the camera, is I'd like for him to be the director of my play, because he would really know how to get correct and exact emotions out of the actors that we would need to get out of them. The third person that I want to talk about, I apologize, Ryan's disc. Yeah, the personality type that I have for him is ESTP, meaning that he's really an extrovert type of person, and he's also a sensor, meaning that he's very sensitive to certain subjects. The next person I'd like to talk about is Katy Perry. Katy Perry is an accomplished musician, singer, and actress herself. The second positive that I had for her is that she always gives the best to her fans, no matter what it takes. And that's very important, because the job that I have for her, I'm going to need her to give all of her best. If I've got Jared Leto as an actor, I need him to give all of his best, and I'm going to need her to do the same thing for the job that I have for her. The third positive that I have for her is that she's very worldly. She likes to go around the world and be an inspiration towards people. She has plans to go to other parts of the country, other countries that she hasn't gone to yet, so she can perform and be an entertainer to those people that she hasn't performed to yet. The three negatives that I have for her is that she has a tendency to let her personal life interfere with her professional life, like what happened with her and her former husband, Russell Brand, a couple of years ago. That ended up as a tabloid thing. She can also get very angry. I witnessed a video where she a couple of years ago, paparazzi were crowded all around her and wouldn't let her get out of this place that she had gone to, and she got really angry with them and upset. And she's going to have to learn but she's going to have to learn how to keep her emotions intact and to be able to control them. The third thing that I have as a negative for her is that she works so much that she tends to forget things. When she's on our play, when she's on our team, I'm going to need really all of her time devoted to this play, because she can't have other things going on at the same time that we're hosting our play. About her forgetting things, that's what a good director is supposed to do, and that's what I believe Ryan will help her out with, to help her to memorize her lines. The personality type that I have for Katy is ENFJ, meaning that she is an extrovert, and she is also an introvert, meaning that she is a very personal type of person. She she does like her um, her family life and her home life to be separate from her personal life, even though those things have been mixed up in the past. The next person that I would like to talk about is Danny Elfman. Danny is an accomplished musician. In the 80s, he was, or in the late 70s and the 80s, he was the lead singer for a band called Oingo Boingo, a very popular 80s band. And it was at the behest of Tim Burton in 1985 that he started to make his way into the composer world. The second positive that I had for him is that he's very loyal to people. Whenever he finds somebody that he likes to work with, he'll typically work with them on their next projects going on further, meaning that as long as there's nothing negative that happens between them, he will continue on to work with those people. His longest working collaboration is with himself and Tim Burton. The third thing that I have as a positive for Danny is that he can be quite unsure of certain things, meaning that whenever he composes a score, he won't always know if it's the right thing to put into a film. One of the stories that I have with that is that he didn't know if the music that he was writing for the original Batman in 1989 was the right type of music until Tim came in and listened to it, and he brought all of the producers into the recording bay to listen to the tracks, and some of them felt that some of the music was kind of dreary and they weren't hearing that big MacGuffin sound until Tim actually pushed Danny to play them the main theme to the Batman film in 1989, which is really iconic in today's world. The negatives that I have for him is that, like a positive, he can be quite unsure of himself. For a musician who is writing the music for this play, I kind of need him to be really assured with himself, because the director won't always be there to hold his hand to help him write the music. He's going to need to really have the balls to write music that he think would be suitable for this play. And the next person that I wanted to talk about is Oprah Winfrey. The three positives that I have for Oprah, I'm sorry, I keep on doing this. Danny's disc personality type is he's an introvert and he's very intuitive, meaning that he does like to work by himself. And whenever he thinks of a theme in his head, like he did for the theme for The Simpsons, he literally has to go straight to the studio and he has to record that. That way he doesn't forget that theme. It's a lot like what other musicians do. The next person I'd like to talk about going back to Danny is the job that I obviously have for him is as composer. I want him to compose music for our play. The next person that I want to talk about is Oprah Winfrey. We love Oprah. We think she's a very visionary type of person. She is an extreme entrepreneur, and she is a very popular promoter. With these three things in mind, she did run her own show for 25 years. She became an entrepreneur for several events all around the world, promoting causes that didn't necessarily get promoted until she started talking about them, and she became a severe promoter towards causes that needed to be promoted and talked about, especially when it came to her Book of the Month Club. Every time that she would recommend a book for somebody to read, that immediately went up to the top and became a nationwide bestseller type of book. Um, one of the negatives that I have for her is that she, like Ryan, gets very emotional, and she finds it hard to control her emotions. Sometimes when she does an interview, she can't help but feel emotion for that type of person, and it's just something that when you're working on a set, or you're working behind the set, or when you have the job that I need to have for her to have, you need to learn to control your emotions. The second negative that I have for her is that she's really failed at several business ventures. Um, After she had decided to quit her show after 25 years, she decided to form her own company called her own television network called OWN, the Oprah Winfrey Network. And for a good few years, it really struggled when it came to the rating sports. And she had to learn how to change certain things so that it would not only affect her company, but affect it for the good reasons. Her personality type that I have for her is that she is very intuitive, and she, most importantly, is an influencer. She loves to be able to let people know about certain things, and she loves to, want people to know about certain causes that she fights for. And she really is an influence about that. And really in all of her life, sir. The next person that I want to talk to you about is Scott McCall. Now, Scott is, the three positives that I have for him is that he's a very dedicated person, meaning that when it comes to protecting the people that he loves, he will protect them at all costs, or at most costs, if not all costs. He is a fighter, meaning that he'll fight for anything that he really truly believes in. And the last thing that I have as a positive for him is that he's very protective. This is a good thing when he's not in the other form that he is. Scott is also a werewolf. And that's one of the negatives that I have for him, is that he doesn't know how to control his urges most of the time. Whenever he turns into this werewolf-like type of being, he cannot control himself. And if I have somebody like that on my team, I need him to be able to be a controllable type of person. Another negative, just like the positive that I have for him, is that he is a fighter. When he's in this uncontrollable state, he can't help the urge but fight other people, and we really need him to be able to not only control those urges, but to control his temper and his fighting stability. It's a good thing to be able to fight for some things, but when you're fighting for evil things, then that's not a good thing. Another negative that I have for him is he is also extremely emotional. Now, being emotional when you're not on a film set and when you're not in front of a camera, that's fine. But when you're working behind the scenes, you need to learn how to control all of your emotions. That's why for most of the people that I'm talking about today, I keep on putting emotion. You have to learn how to control your emotions, because a director can't go off on people. It's very unprofessional for other employees to go off on other employees. So we want to really have everybody control their emotions. The last person that I want to talk to you about, I'm going to go back and rewind the two jobs that I have for both Oprah and for Scott. For Oprah, I have her I want her to be one half of my marketing team, because she is a very, very dedicated promoter. She knows how to promote correctly. She knows how to make changes also when changes need to be made. And sometimes in a production world, those changes do need to be made. And I believe that she will also promote our play to the best of her ability in the best way possible, that she can see a way to do that, or that we all can come together in a plan and for the best way possible. For Scott, the job that I have for him is that I think he would be an excellent production assistant, meaning that he will get things whenever need be positive for people on set to get, i.e., if the director needs coffee, if any of the actors need something, he'll be willing and able to really to get it for that person. The last person that I'd love to talk about today is Ellen DeGeneres. I love Ellen. She's a very, very, very good person, in my personal opinion. The positives that I have for her is that she is a risk taker, meaning that in the midst of she did something that really nobody else did, sort of before her or since her. She came out as a lesbian, as an openly gay woman on her own nationally syndicated comedy show. When that's you didn't really have people doing that, especially actors, in front of a camera to that point, to that personality. And she, when she did that, it allowed other people to come out who were gay, to come out as an openly gay person to people. She became a very strong influencer towards people in that way. And the second positive that I have for her is that she is an entrepreneur. With her own, with her Ellen DeGeneres show, she's been known to promote certain causes like the bullying laws. She promoted, just like Oprah did, suicide prevention. She promoted she promoted really gay rights for people. Equality is what she really did, and she has a lot of qualities within herself that I would love to have her bring to this team. The third thing that I think is a very positive thing is that she's an extreme giver, meaning that every single day on her show, there's not a day that goes by where she doesn't give gifts out to everybody in the audience. Whether it's something as small as a ticket to her latest film, Finding Dory, or she'll do her 12 Days of Christmas, where she invites certain people to come to her television, to her show at the end of the year for Christmas. And she has this big, huge Christmas celebration where she passes out huge, large gifts to people to give them Christmas cheer. The negatives that I have for Ellen is that, like everybody else, and I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to do that again, she can't control her emotions most of the time. The second thing is that sometimes she does things without the consent of other people, i.e. she'll pull pranks. She'll have her employees go out and help her pull these pranks that she does. She likes to scare a lot of her people, which really is it kind of makes some of her guests really angry. The third and final negative that I have for her is that sometimes, and I've witnessed this, she can kind of get easily bored when it comes to talking to fans and certain certain guests that she has, especially when playing games with them. She just needs to bring that positive energy all the time with her to a set, to our set, because that's what I really look for in her, is her positive energy. The disc trait that I have for Ellen is that she is an influencer and she is a perceiver. She's an influencer, like I said, because she took a risk. She came out in a time when it was really not okay for people to come out and be openly gay. But she did it, and she kicked open the door for other people to come out, whether it was in front of their parents or however they perceive themselves, however they decided that they want to come out. These are the people that I pulled out, that I have chosen to be on my team, and I believe that, like let me go back. For Ellen, the job that I have for her is I want her to get with Oprah and be the full part of the promotional marketing team. She knows how to promote certain causes that wouldn't normally get promoted, and I know that she knows how to promote herself in every way possible whether it comes to her show, to her Twitter handle, to her YouTube channel. She just knows how to really market herself, and I want her to bring that marketing promotion towards our marketing team. I believe that with her and Oprah, we will have something that's very, very strong that can get out towards people for the demographic that we need to get it out towards. These are the people that I've decided to put onto my team, and I have explained their personality traits and what their positives and negatives are, and what I believe that they would be best on this team. Thank you very much for listening to this video, and have a wonderful evening, or have a wonderful day.